we must also not be forced to apologize for the statement daughter of a murderer. He says that this is Ibrahim Murtala. And who is Murtala? He's a parliamentarian. I think now he's a minister or even deputy minister. I think he's a deputy minister. Is he deputy or minister? I think he's a minister of science or something. When Parliament was celebrating the 60th anniversary of the passing of J.B. Dankwa, and statements were being made, you remember what happened? Murtala stood up and said J.B. Dankwa was a traitor. He had worked for the CIA. And people were trying to prevent him from speaking. Okay, Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, good. People were trying to prevent him from talking. Then his mic kept going off. So whilst his mic was going off, we have Rawlings who kept on the mic and was urging him on. Continue. Tell them. Let them know. JB Dankwa, sa pepe, yampa, or a traitor, or a CIA ni, or a national CIA ni ejuma, only asimesi. So that got someone from the NPP side, the mighty minority side, angry, and the person said, daughter of a murderer. Now, when the person said daughter of a murderer, NDC took offense. And as I always say, NDC is a kind of political party that if they were to be a human being, this is the kind of human being they would be. They always see themselves as bullies, right? So an NDC man will be slapping you, really hot slaps. Then he will tell you that don't cry, keep quiet, don't cry, keep quiet. Whilst they are telling you not to cry, they are slapping you. They are inflicting pain on you. Now, when you slap them back once, they will collapse and they will pretend they are dead. And they will be calling on the whole of the universe that he has slapped me back, he has slapped me back. But unfortunately, they will not go and say that they have slapped me back, or they will say that he has slapped me. So when somebody comes, if the person is not careful to go and go deep and real and find out what has actually transpired, the person will think that you, the person who has retaliated, you are the one wrong. That is NDC for you. Now, Murtala has written a very beautiful piece which you must dissect. The first word I want you to pay attention to is attempt. Right? So, the attempt to bury. Now, the next word is very important. True political history of this country in a grave paved over by threat and travel by God will not sell. So it means that Ghana as a nation, we have not come this far by chance. No. Certain events have taken place for Ghana to get where it is today. There is a reason why we are not in the First Republic, but we are in the Fourth Republic. What happened to the First Republic? What happened to the Second? What happened to the Third? So all these things are an integral part of the history of Ghana, the true history of Ghana. In fact, in Murtala's word, the true political history of Ghana. And Murtala, who is a minister in John Mahama's government, believes that the true political history of Ghana must not be buried. Why? Because our history is important in advising this generation and the generation to come. It will take our history to let the generation to come that to get to the Fourth Republic, this is how we suffered as a nation. And so let's keep the democracy we are experiencing in the Fourth Republic, and let's not allow for maybe a coup to happen again. That is how important our history is. And Murtala is saying that because of how important this history is, we must not just let our affiliation to tribes, okay, be the reason why we will want to lie on somebody's behalf, or we want to paint somebody who is black we want to paint him white. This is Murtala in NDC speaking today. And this is his response because some youth from Achim have gone to petition the Speaker of Parliament, submitted a petition that he must come and apologize for saying that J.B. Dankwa was a CIA agent and was a traitor. But this is his response. Fine response. Very brilliant response. This is his view. And me, if you tell me that we should not attempt to bury the true political history of Ghana, I am 100% in support of it. It is for that reason that we must also not be forced to apologize for the statement daughter of a murderer. Because Jerry John Rawlings had killed people during his lifetime. And somebody who carries out extrajudicial killings is a murderer. Is that not so? The only place where somebody can be found guilty and condemned to death is when the person has gone through court, a competent court of jurisdiction, and the person has been sentenced to death. In that instance, the person is killed in the presence of various people. There are witnesses. If it is by lethal injection, they give the person lethal injection. If it is by electric chair electrocution, the person is electrocuted. Right? So all this history is history of the nation. And that must not be buried according to NDC's Mutala. I'm seeing the official platform of Honorable Opinion Marking come through the live. You are welcome, whoever is managing the platform. Okay? The history must not be buried. We must be able to tell ourselves that even we coming in the coming into force of the Fourth Republic, it is not as if it was Rawlings' willingness, or he just woke up and decided that Ghana must return to a democratic dispensation. It was because of external pressures. The sanctions that were on Ghana, they were pushing the economy down the drain. And that is the reason why Rawlings was forced to go to switch into a civilian rule, a civilian government. We must be able to tell ourselves that the political party that was known as PNDC is the same party that is known today as NDC. And we must be able to tell ourselves the kind of evil deeds that the PNDC did. With the martial laws, the martial courts. All these things are integral parts of our history. And according to putting it in Mutala's words, the true political history of this country. And so we want to carry out a short exercise this evening. And I will need some of our mothers on this platform, some of our fathers to, I'm not asking you to lie, but I'm asking you to tell those of you who were alive then, in the 80s, in the 70s, I want you to come up and tell us what you experienced when PNDC was in power, under PNDC. I want you to tell our listeners, I want you to tell me what you witnessed under Jerry John Rawlings being a military leader of this nation. That is the thing I want us to do, as I want to carry this evening, because the true political history of our motherland, according to NDC's Mutala, who is a minister, must not be buried. At this juncture, send in your request. Let us have a conversation. 3 things we discussed. 5 weeks in power, Sam George has finally become the man of his house because money is coming into his pocket at the Ministry of Communication. Second thing we discussed is that NDC communicators are threatening John Mahama that if he does not appoint them, they will not work for the party in 2028. The reason is that one of them says that he has donated 100,000 Ghana cedis, 1 billion, to John Mahama. He has given it to John Mahama cash. So John Mahama cannot come and be distributing positions and not give him some. Then the last thing is that Mutala is saying that the attempt to bury the true political history of our nation must not be buried. And so we want to come up and come and share your experience with us. If you were alive during the days of Jerry John Rawlings as a military leader, what went on? I want you to share with us as a guest this night. So please, let's Send your request and let's have a conversation. I'm waiting for your request. Send your request and let's have a conversation. Send your request. Let's have a conversation. Send your request. Let's have a conversation.